Hello, this is the Watchdog, and welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today we're going to review the Tandorio CUSN8 bronze homage to a Captain Willard. CUSN8 is not the actual model number. It's the bronze material. I couldn't find a model number for this watch. Let's start out with the wrist check. I'm wearing a Lax Denton LD9106 GMT watch. And Grogo is wearing my Timex MK1 MacGyver. Grogo said he wanted to start his own YouTube watch channel. He's going to call it Grogo Rico Talks Watches. Alright, let's take a look at the watch. It's just a nice plastic case that comes with the steel dives and the anti-dives and a few other watches. Although they didn't put the Tandorio brand name right there. And here it is. This is going to be a lot of firsts on my channel. The first Tandorio, the first bronze watch, and the first PT 5000 movement. This watch is an homage to the Seiko 6105, also known as the Captain Willard, since Martin Sheen wore it in Apocalypse Now. The watch was popular during the war due to its water resistance in the wet Vietnamese environment, although they never made it in bronze. When it comes to watch material, bronze seems like an odd choice. First of all, it makes your skin turn green, so that is why they are usually on a leather strap due to the impracticality of a bronze bracelet. Even the case back is steel, since it is in constant contact with the skin. Recently, Tudor came out with a bronze Black Bay with a bronze bracelet made of some special bronze alloy that won't make your skin turn green. Bronze is kind of the color of rose gold, but doesn't have the shine and luster of gold, which is part of the appeal. A brand new bronze watch will tarnish and look old rather quickly, making your new watch seem like a vintage antique in no time. This tarnish is also referred to as patina. Bronze may be okay when you take your dive watch in the ocean or lake, but do not take it into the swimming pool, as chlorinated water can cause bronze disease, which people confuse with patina, but is in actuality an irreversible corrosion. The watch is 40.8 millimeters at the bezel, 43.5 millimeters if you measure at the case, has a 46.7 millimeter lug to lug, is 13.8 millimeters thick, has a 20 millimeter lug width. It weighs 113 grams on the supplied leather strap. The bezel is a unidirectional 120 click with a coin edge. It has a ceramic insert with a lume pip. The action is quite good. Solid clicks with just the right amount of resistance and no back play. And it lines up just nicely. The dial is black with no sunburst effect. It has the Tandorio name and logo on top. And then it says Divers Automatic 200 meters on the bottom with 200 meters in red. The word divers should only be used on an ISO 6425 rated dive watch, and I seriously doubt that this watch is certified. On the bottom it says Japan Movement, which would be the case if it was the NH35 version, but I ordered the one with the PT 5000, which is a Chinese made and only a $10 upcharge. It's too bad they didn't come up with a different dial for that version. There is a 3 o'clock date window with a border. It has applied lume indices, fully lumed baton hands, and a stoplight second hand, where the white part is lumed, but not the red. There is an unsigned screw-down crown, which helps with the 200 meters water resistance. I must admit that the crown is what I consider by far the worst thing in this watch. This is my second Willard, as I reviewed an Andy's dive some time ago, but I don't remember struggling with the crown like on this one. A Captain Willard is basically a turtle with crown guards, and these crown guards are the pits. Unscrewing the crown is difficult, and winding the crown is difficult because of the crown guards. And screwing the crown back in is a nightmare. I struggle every time, and I will not do it in front of the camera because I'll just embarrass myself. So I'm going to have to screw it back down off camera. The crystal is sapphire. There's no mention of AR coating, but you can see through it just fine. So I don't know if it has any or not. I guess you can kind of see a little bit of blue, but that could just be the lights. And the bronze case is brushed everywhere. You don't really want polished bronze. I mean, the whole appeal of the bronze is the vintage look, and brushed just looks more vintage. It's your typical Willard case. It has a screw down case back where it's most of it's frosted. And it gives the water resistance, says sapphire crystal and automatic movement. And there's no mention of the brand name or a model number. Once again, I put CUSN8, but that's the bronze material. That's not the model number. And underneath is the PT5000 movement. This is a Chinese-made clone of the ETA 2824, which is the basic workhorse movement of affordable Swiss watches. The PT5000 is a 25 joule 4 hertz movement that hand winds and hacks, and a 40-hour power reserve. 4 hertz means the second hand ticks 8 times a second, giving it a smoother sweep than the more common 3 hertz movements. Here it is on the time grapher. As you can see, it is running at a very respectable +5 a day with a very healthy amplitude and no beat error. The PT5000 is a fairly new movement, but has earned a very good reputation. I think it is worth the $10 upcharge from the NH35 version. The supplied strap is genuine leather, and it does not have quick release, nor is there drilled lug holes, which is too bad because since this is a diver's watch, you don't want to take leather in the water, so you'd want to change straps before diving with it. The leather is thick and substantial and soft enough not to need a break-in period. Unfortunately, the strap is way too short. I only have one notch left. Also, the unsigned buckle is kind of flimsy, kind of cheap. Plus, it doesn't match the color of the case, and it doesn't have to be bronze, but for example, the Timex Grogo is wearing is not bronze, but it's got that bronze color. So I wish they would have had a buckle of the same color. I mean, once again, this Timex is steel, not bronze, but it has a bronze-like color. And there are 2 keepers on it, one fixed, one floating. You will never use the floating keeper unless you have a really tiny wrist. In fact, if I was going to keep this watch, I would just cut it off. Also, if I were to keep this watch, though, I'd probably put it on a deployment class of a similar color to the case. Here's the watch on my 7.5-inch wrist. It looks nice. It wears nice. It's a little bit thick. But once again, this is a big Willard, so one can kind of expect that thickness. But once again, though, look at that strap. I only have one notch left. This strap is way too short. So if your wrist is bigger than 7 3/4, you will either have to cut another hole in it or get a new strap. Here we are in the Lume room. Wearing the watch, I knew the hand loom was really good, but everything else, not so much. As we speed up the time, we see the hands are doing great, including the second hand. Everything else is fading very fast, including the loom pip. Too bad about the loom pip. A diver watch should have a loom pip as good as the minute hand, since they are used together to time dives. At least the pip is better than the indices, but the hands are first rate. What do I like about this watch? Well, first of all, the watch looks great. It's a very nice looking watch. Has a great bezel with great action. And the hand loom is as good as loom can get, just about. And I like the fact that it has a PT5000 movement with the smooth 4 hertz sweep. What are my gripes and groans? The crown. The crown is horrible. these crown guards make it almost impossible to use. Really do not like the crown. Once again, I don't remember struggling with the crown on the Addy's Dive Willard I reviewed. The strap is way too short, and the buckle doesn't match the case. And even though the hand loom is just great, the loom pip is not and doesn't keep up with the minute hand like it should. Also, don't put divers on a dial unless the watch is ISO 6425 certified. I do not make the rules. Do I recommend this watch? Well, I'm really struggling. It's hard to recommend a watch with an abomination of a crown like this. Maybe if it was a quartz where you only set it a few times a year, but this is an automatic, so you'll be setting it a few times a week. And that is just too bad, because otherwise it's a pretty good watch for the money and one of the cheaper ways of getting a PT 5000. If anyone else out there has this watch, let me know what you think of the crown and if you're struggling or not. Maybe it's just the shape of my fingers. Well, thank you for watching my review of the Tandorio Bronze Captain Willard. And I will be back with another review or unboxing. Be sure and like and subscribe to my channel. Bye.